Today in this class I will be discussing about the concept of joint family system and coparcenary system under the Hindu law. First of all, we have to understand the concept or composition of joint family. A joint family consists of a common ancestor and all his lineal descendants up to any generation together with the wife or wives or widows and unmarried daughters of a common ancestor and of the lineal male descendants. So basically in every joint family there has to be a common ancestor. Along with the common ancestor there may be some male descendants, that means the male persons who are directly related to the common ancestor, and these descendants may be up to any generation. It may be 3 generation, it may be 2 generation, it may be 5 generation, it may be 7 generation also. If these persons are living together and these male persons are staying together with their wives, widows and their unmarried daughters, then it consists of a joint Hindu family. Next is the existence of a common ancestor is necessary for bringing a joint family in existence. To the existence of a joint family, it is necessary that there has to be a common ancestor. Without having a common ancestor, there cannot be a joint Hindu family. But for the continuance of a joint family, the continuance of the same ancestor is not necessary. That means if a common ancestor for some person may not be a common ancestor for some other person also. That means if the common ancestor of a person dies, that doesn't mean that the joint family also comes to an end. It will continue. Next is the upper lines are removed and lower ones are added. In this manner, as long as the line not comes to an end, the joint family continues till perpetuity. That means the common ancestor may die, but the last generation may be added. It may be added in the last generation. In this way the joint family will continue and it will continue till perpetuity. There is no limitation. As long as they are living together, they are eating together, they are worshipping together and holding a property jointly, the joint family continues. Next is the members of a joint family. Who can be a member of a joint family? Basically, two kinds of members, both female and male can be a member of a joint family, but those are limited. So who can be a male members of a joint family? First, the person lineally connected to the male line. That means the persons who are male in gender and they are directly descended from the common ancestor can be a member of a joint family. Secondly, collaterals. Collaterals are those who are having a common ancestor but their line of descendant is different. That means the male of an male line and the male of a female line can also be a member of a joint family. Thirdly, any person related by adoption. So joint family system, the membership doesn't get by birth or by blood. It may be by adoption also. So if any person of a joint family adopts any person, then those adopted persons can automatically becomes a member of that joint family. Fourthly, dependents. Dependents are basically those minors or those poor section of the relatives of those male common ancestor, lineally descendant. Those dependents can also be a member of a joint family. Fifth is the son born out of a marriage between a male Hindu and a Christian woman under the Special Marriage Act 1954. So as we are discussing about the Hindu joint family system, here it says that if the male person is a Hindu and he got married to a Christian woman under the Special Marriage Act, and if any son born out from that marriage, then that son is also a member of that joint family system. So these are the male members of a joint family. Next is the female members. There are two female member categories. First is the wife or widows of a deceased male member of a joint family. So in male members, those persons who are mentioned in the male members, if they are having any wife or widows, then those wives or widows are also the members of the same joint family system. Second category is the maiden or unmarried daughters. If there is any unmarried daughters of these male persons along with the common ancestor, then those unmarried daughters are also a member of the joint family. So this is the diagram which shows the joint family system. So there are here we can say A, who is the common ancestor here. This common ancestor has three sons, B, C and D. B have one son and one daughter. E is the son, F is the daughter. E, who is the son of B, have one son, K. K have one daughter, N. On the other hand, in case of C, he have two sons, one daughter. Z and I are the sons and H is the daughter of C. I, who is the son of C, he have one daughter, L, and one son, M. And M also have a son named as O. Similarly, D, who is the son of the common ancestor, have one daughter named as J. So if you see here how many generations we got, A being the common ancestor is the first generation, second generation is B, C and D, third generation is E, F, Z, H, I, Z, that is the third generation, fourth generation is K, L and M, this is the fourth generation, and fifth generation is N and O. So these persons consist of a joint family system. If they are staying together, eating together and holding a property together, then they are a joint family system. Next is the coparcenary. So what is coparcenary, or what is the composition of coparcenary? Coparcenary is a narrow body of persons within a joint family. So in the first sentence also only we can recognize that coparcenary is a part of a joint family, but it is narrower in size, narrower than the joint family. It consists of father, son, son's son, son's son's son. So coparcenary consists of 4 generations. Those are father, son, son's son, son's son's son. So these 4 generations consist of a coparcenary. That means in a coparcenary there has to be a 4 male generation. Like a joint family, it consists of father and his 3 lineal descendants. As coparcenary is a part of joint family, it will also start with the father or the common ancestor, and along with the common ancestor there has to be 3 lineal descendants of the common ancestor. That means common ancestor is the first generation, and there has to be 3 more generations to constitute a coparcenary. But in its continuance, the existence of the father-son relationship is not necessary. That means to constitute a coparcenary, the relationship between the 4 male generations may not be a relationship of father and son. It may be a relationship of grandfather and grandson, brothers, uncles and nephew, and so on. The only thing is that there has to be a relationship between the 4 generations there has to be a relationship, and that relationship may not be of a father and son, but the only thing is that the male generation has to be of 4 generations along with the common ancestor. The rule is that so long as it is not removed by more than 4 degrees from the last holder of the property, they will be coparcenary. That means as long as there is 4 generations are staying together, it is a coparcenary. If one is removed by more than 4 degree, one will not be a coparcenary. If a person falls beyond the 4 generations category, then that person cannot constitute that coparcenary. Next is a chart which is a diagram of the coparcenary system. Here, as similar to the joint family system, A is the common ancestor having 4 sons, B, C, D and E, who are also having their grandsons and great-grandsons and great-granddaughters. B have 2 sons, F and G. F have 1 son, K. Z have 1 daughter, L. C have 1 son, H. H have 1 son, M. M has 1 son, P. Similarly, D have 1 son, I, and I have 1 daughter, N. Next is E have 1 son, J, and J have 1 daughter, O. So here also we can find out how many generations. In case of B, A is the first generation, B is the second generation, F and G is the third generation, and K and L is the fourth generation. So these 4 generations constitute a coparcenary. Next, if we see in case of C, how many generations we are getting? A is the first generation, C is the second generation, H is the third generation, M is the fourth generation, and P is the fifth generation. So here how many generations we got? 5 generations. But we know that to constitute a coparcenary there has to be a 4 generation. There has to be 4 generation. If the the fifth generation is excluded from the coparcenary. So we can say that A, C, H and M constitute a coparcenary. But P can be a coparcenary in future. P can also be a part of that coparcenary in future. How? As soon as A, being the common ancestor, if A dies, then 1 generation will be excluded. So in this case, the upper line is excluded or removed, and the lower line, that is P, P is included in that coparcenary and being a part of that coparcenary. So if A dies, C, H, M and P will constitute 4 generations, and we can term it as a coparcenary. Next, in case of D, we also having 4 generations. A first generation, D second generation, I is the third generation, and N is the fourth generation. So it is also a coparcenary. Same in case of E also, we are having 4 generations. A first generation, E second generation, Z is the third generation, and O is the fourth generation. So if we look, it is a joint family, but within this joint family we got how many coparcenaries? We got 4 1 2 3 4 coparcenary sections we got within a joint family. It is a joint family, but within this joint family we have 4 coparcenary system. Next is the last part, is the difference between the joint family and the coparcenary. We have heard a lot about joint family and coparcenary, but there is a slight difference between these two, though it looks like similar, but there is a difference between these two. First difference is relating to the number of persons. As I said, in coparcenary there is a limitation of members who can constitute a coparcenary. That means there has to be 4 male generations has to be, or earlier females were not included in coparcenary, but now females are also included in the coparcenary after 2005. So to constitute a coparcenary, there has to be 4 generations, but in joint family system there is no such limitation. It can be, as I said, it can be consist of 3 generations, 2 generations, 7 generations and 10 generations also. So there is no limitations. Second point is almost similar. Joint family, no limitations is there. Limitation of 4 generations to be present is not there, but in coparcenary there has to be 4 generations of male members has to be present along with the common ancestor. Third difference is that joint family continues even after the death of the last surviving coparcenary. The joint family does not come to an end at the death of the last coparcenary. That means the last male member or female member of a 4th generation of a coparcenary. If the last member of a coparcenary, that means the 4th generation or the member of a 4th generation of a family dies, the coparcenary comes to an end because the 4th member died. That means we have only 3 generations, so coparcenary is not there, no longer is there. But in spite of the death of the 4th generation member, the joint family system continues because there is no limitation. It can be consist of 3 generations or 2 generations also. Next difference is relating to every joint family is not a coparcenary, but every coparcenary is a joint family. As I said in the composition part only, that the coparcenary is a part of a joint family, but it doesn't mean that in every joint family we will get a coparcenary. Okay, but if we are getting a coparcenary, that means we are inside a joint family. But we are inside a joint family, it doesn't mean that we are also having a coparcenary. The last difference is that joint family is a bigger institution covering all the male and female members descendant from the common ancestor. It includes the unmarried daughters also. So joint family is a bigger institution because it includes all the male and female descendants of the common ancestor. Whoever is descendant from the common ancestor, whether it is a male or female, it is a member of the joint family. But in case of coparcenary, it is a narrower in sense because as I said earlier, to become a member of a coparcenary, there has to be an interest or there has to be a right acquired by birth. That means the relationship between the members of a coparcenary has to be acquired by birth. Due to the birth only, they are related to each other. That's why they are members of a coparcenary. But in joint family, the relationship with each other may not be due to the birth. It may be related to marriage also, or it may be due to adoption also, or by birth also. But in coparcenary, the relationship has to be acquired or achieved by birth. There cannot be a relationship between the 4 generation members due to marriage or adoption. So that's all. Thank you for this wonderful session. Thank you all.